Hmm. Beloved, I am here. I said yesterday that I'm going to um, share what's been on my mind concerning lust, Christianese, and desecration of the altar. I actually meant to say pulpit, but it's okay. So, whatever it is. Hey, let me do a story time first. So, a few weeks ago, I met somebody at the chapel grounds. It was the chapel grounds. They spoke into my life, and I was like, yes, yes, yes. What you said, God has already told me so. You know, you're confirming something to me. Met them a second time after that. I'd actually been invited to their fellowship, went to minister, and I traveled out, came back, and tell me why this person calls me. And they're like, hello, my daughter. I'm like, wait a minute, sir. When did I become your spiritual daughter? Me? How? Explain. But then this person went on to outrightly demand a certain honor that I should only give my parents. I'm like, sir, this is why people are no longer believing in the Christian faith, because they're now thinking, oh, all of these people are just becoming charlatans, papas. But then the Lord helped me. I wrote them a very sweet message. And at the end, I just told them, at the moment you finish reading this, you'll be blocked. And indeed, they were blocked. But then they found a way to send me their response. And the next week, I met somebody that um I don't even know how to say this, but the moment I met this person and had a conversation with them, he was an agent for a house that we're looking for. I understood now why I had to create that boundary with the other person and just advise the other person to create boundaries with my gender, and especially as a man of ministry, because this other man ended up, Lord, he was, it's like prophecy fulfillment, not even prophecy for, I don't even know how to say it. But then his current life is um is what this man would become if he doesn't work on himself like that. So there I am, listening to this other man speak about how he's a powerful man. He's a pastor. He's actually married. This second man, he's actually married. And he's just saying, oh, I'm a very big pastor. I've once had a 500 member capacity church, and then women brought me down. I'm like, so let's discuss this, because it's seeming like it's a trend, especially in Pentecostal circles, where um only because I've seen this mainly with men, where they're failing to tame themselves. Self-control, they're not practicing it. They're lusting after the desires of the flesh. They're allowing it to progress. So they may still be prophesying this side, but still sleeping around with their church members. I don't even know why that last video ended, because I got distracted. But I hope I'm speaking to the right audience, and that you will not be deceived because you see somebody preach the gospel to you. Stay discerning. You know them by their fruits, by the way. But then really stay discerning, so that at the end of the day, you're not manipulated. Because imagine if my discernment was low. I think I would have been one of those people who ends up being a blind loyal papa. Whatever papa says, I shall do. If he says, give me this money. In fact, what even hurt me was him saying, no, you need to give me money for my birthday because you own a company. I'm like, sir, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're not feeling fine. You are not feeling fine. How are you even getting entitled to my money? I thought this is about ministry. But then ministry with manipulation. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. But I really hope we are not just Christians that would take whatever a man of God says and believe it. Let's be like the Berean Christians, the ones that would go back and search scripture and make sure that what the apostles were teaching them is correct. Let's be those kinds of Christians even today. To know that even when somebody speaks, whatever it is that they are saying should be backed by the word. If it's not, flee. Right. Like, they're sleeping around with their female church members. Maybe even male church members, because, people are exploring. Shouldn't even be laughing about this. But my heart bled when I listened to his story, because not only has it affected him, it's also affected his marriage. It's gotten to a point where his wife feels like she's his sibling, and I'm trying to say this without saying everything directly, like as it was said to me. But then one thing that just made me sad was seeing how, if this man had built healthy boundaries for himself, even as a single person, if he had sexual, if he had self-control over his sexual desires, he wouldn't have gotten to this point. Because this man outrightly said he's had some few cases here and there, and then went straight ahead to minister. But then now the weight of guilt got so much to him that he's decided no, he doesn't want to do church anymore. He would rather just continue living in sin like that than sin and then go on to minister to people. I don't even know where that last video ended because I got distracted. But I hope I'm speaking to the right audience, and that you will not be deceived because you see somebody preach the gospel to you. Stay discerning. You will know them by their fruits, by the way. But then really stay discerning, so that at the end of the day, you're not manipulated. Because imagine if my discernment was low. I think I would have been one of those people who ends up being a blind, loyal papa. Whatever papa says, I shall do. If he says, give me this money. In fact, what even hurt me was him saying, no, you need to give me money for my birthday because you own a company. I'm like, sir, wait a minute. You're not feeling fine. You are not feeling fine. How are you even getting entitled to my money? I thought this is about ministry. But then ministry with manipulation. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. But I really hope we are not just Christians that would take whatever a man of God says and believe it. Let's be like the Berean Christians, the ones that would go back and search scripture and make sure that what the apostles were teaching them is correct. Let's be those kinds of Christians even today. To know that even when somebody speaks, whatever it is that they are saying should be backed by the word. If it's not, flee. Run. In Bema we say katende mpele, like speed, with the speed of lightning, like that. Let's wait. I think there's some scripture that I wanted to read. My men verse is verse 5, but then Second Timothy 3, verse 1 to 5. But know this, that in the last days perilous times will come. For men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers without self-control, brutal, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. And from such people turn away. So, to all of my people, especially to my gender, because I know we are the type that would easily hearken to the voice of sheep that would just lead us into the slaughter. You know, not even the shepherd taking us, it's the sheep, fellowship, trying to lure us away from our path. Let's stay discerning. Even if somebody comes and says, I want to marry you, baby girl, test their fruit, test their spirit. Because these people will speak, will sound like having a form of godliness, but denying its power. They'll sound like it, but then there'll just be something that will be something. Be very discerning. I feel like I'm even just coming out strongly to my sisters. Makashana, Ichemen. And then now back to the issue of lust. Galatians 5, verse 16 to 17 says, I said then, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusts against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary to one another, so that you do not do the things that you wish. The word doesn't need to be diluted. It is straightforward. Don't say you did not know. I am speaking to believers. Don't say you did not know, because you're different from unbelievers. Unbelievers may not even have heard this truth, but you know this truth, and you are intentionally choosing to move in lust. Do you know what's scary about it all is that God does not revoke a gift. So if a minister continues in living a life of sin, maybe let's say I can't say just as if it's just a minor thing. Let's say they're fornicating, eh? The moment they stand to minister, that other spirit back in them will be poured upon everyone that will listen to their voice, that will hear their ministration, that will listen to their sermon. And so we have no excuse as Christians not to kill the desires of our flesh. Because as we go out to minister, as we go out to evangelize, whatever it is that we will be saying will be laced with whatever unclean spirits that we have. No, because we've chosen to coexist with darkness. So it will be, hey, you preached so well. And this is why we find that we have people who, one day be heard, maybe even a minister. This minister is fire for fire. Next thing you see, they're being brought down by women. It just doesn't happen. It's not a once-off event. It's something that they decided not to kill when it was still a seed. So now it's grown, and it's gotten to a scale that even they can't control. But then they can't even control it because they like it so much. They want a little bit of God, a little bit of the world. And so when the time to be harassed comes, when the time to be embarrassed by the enemy comes, it will be loud. I think you should, for those of you that haven't seen, watch Prophet Suddenly 1 and 2 to give you a practical example of what's no, in fact, a real it will give you real life examples, like real life testimonies of people who decided to desecrate the altar of God. So again, I know Chimome told me last night not to shout at people. I'm just a messenger. Live right. Do not listen to the desires of your flesh. Kill the desires of your flesh before they kill you. This is to all believers. If you truly call yourself a believer and you're intentional about um, pleasing the heart of God, you're intentional about your relationship with God, because you can't say you love God and then you do what He hates. No, you don't do the things that your lover hates. In fact, even your earthly lover, if you've got a partner, you wouldn't want to do something that they hate. So then how do we claim to love God but then do things that He hates? We are Christ-like. Christians were Christ-like. What He likes, we like. What He hates, we hate. What He loves, we love. We burn for the things that make Him happy. So why then should we want to coexist with darkness and say, no, we're just humans? And I don't even like this saying, because it takes off the aspect of accountability. We don't want to take actions, responsibility of our actions. So we'll just say, it's because I'm human. No, you can make a decision to walk by the Spirit and you will not fulfill the desires of the flesh. Galatians 5:16. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Jesus' second coming is happening sooner than you think. Put your house in order. I love you all. Bye.